I'm recording. Alright, so this is recording.
Yeah.
Done on May
11th,
2019. Charles Labedz speaking. I believe that I'm trying to explain...
No, wait, it's the 10th. I'm sorry. It's the 10th. Tomorrow's the 11th because that's Mother's Day.
Alright, the 10th.
It's the 11th.
Whatever day
It is the 11th?
Yes, it's the 11th. Okay, continue.
The thing that you're interested in is that you have listed here is the occult. The occult means the hidden. The hidden becomes the known when you learn about it. And it differentiates into all of these different sciences and that you're interested in. The glyphs that you've been talking about and making for the last several years are just a form of the abstraction ability that people have. Those glyphs come from a private meaning that you've condensed down into a single shape. It's the same thing you've been doing for most of your life, trying to create a personal symbology that other people will share. It's very clear that if what you're describing is real, then it influences reality, or it describes a part of reality and gives you the ability to prophesize about the reality that you share with other people around you, and to prevent pain and suffering and promote pleasure and satisfaction. The different sciences all come from learning the lexicon of those sciences and those paths of knowledge and those experiences of reality. Your personal understanding of those and what you're influenced to learn about and what you're focused on is how you're going to find your path to power. By recognizing the different influences of the things around you and your degree of control on them, and the control of others on them, and the control of just the crashing waves of the universe around you. Sometimes you can body surf through the waves, and sometimes you gotta crest them and crash. It just depends on where you enter into the swirl. Because that's all you are. You're like the swirly ink blots on the end of an explosion, of the big bang that happened when everything got thrown against everything and became this splotch of stuff and not stuff that is the void of space around us that is filled with all of the stuff. So really it's not a void because there's things in it. We're in the void, but the void is an illusion based on the stuff not stuffness distinction. And that differentiation of stuff that's there and the stuff that's not, and how the different stuff is vibrating and sounding and connecting and relating to the other stuff around it. Because every bit of stuff has a different connection with the reality and photons and electrons and neutrons around it. And that's what makes it a different thing than the things that aren't there, which is the void that we're all in. It's that quantum foam, that difference between stuff, not stuff, that is an illusion, because there's nothing really there. It's just the difference between the not there-ness and the there-ness that is the illusion of the not there-ness. When you breathe, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be conscious of your breath and you're feeling the different emotional and mental states and physical states of your breath. And sometimes, most of your day in your life, you've abstracted away your breath. And you're not focused on the total meaning of your breath. And your breath controls you. that's why pranayama and chi and all that stuff is connected with you-ness. Your ability to expand your you-ness, your control, consciously and awarefully, but abstract it, so that the thumbnails of your focus and attention, instead of just being like this, they're like this. Right? You can see the entire thumbnail right through here, but it's like a higher definition television of the reality that you're perceiving. And like with woodworking, when you're working with the different natural fibers and grains of the material, the chisel and the axe, they all react and they cut through that grain of reality, not reality, illusion, with a different feeling, because the knife and the axe is also that illusion, that they're not there-ness. And it's choosing through the wood based on the axe's there-ness, not there-ness, and the wood's there and not there-ness. Because sometimes in the wood there's that wave to the grain, there's a hiccup to it, and sometimes on the axe edge, even though we believe that it's very sharp, the metal is deviated back and forth. It's woved back, or wove back, or sometimes snapped off at the edge from a really bad crack. And our illusion of it, our idea that it's perfect, not perfect, is only true until you actually look at the axe and you see whether or not it's going to cut cleanly. The rightness or wrongness of an edge is something that you can abstract away, or you can strenuously test. A right angle ruler can be off or on, and the only way to test that is to take it against a linear surface that it can be tangential to, and flip it back and forth, and make sure the line that is drawn is the same and parallel. Because if it's off, then it won't match up perfectly, because the mirror of the right angle will be deviating. You'll get an arrow, you'll get the edge. So you take your corrected right angle by tapping it, and it will look like a perfect line after you expand or contract the inside of that right angle. And then you use it to sharpen your edge to true, and you find the perfect camber. That's how you get a perfect edge, and you can more easily prophesy where that blade is going to go through the wood. Those same principles of life apply to almost all of the different lexicons. There's a specific method, a discipline that you follow through in order to establish the reality of the thing that you're talking about, and its true, not trueness. Because sometimes the thing will be true, in some circumstances, the vast majority of everything else in reality, it won't be true. Except in a certain way. And by establishing the true, not trueness of the thing that you're talking about, you create that lexicon and those glyphs of understanding. And if there were a personal symbology that everyone had that was shared, you would get symbolism, which is a crazy language that was invented in the 1930s, 1940s, where the guy tried to do that exact same thing, where he tried to condense abstracts down to a glyph, and then got angry when people started stringing them together and using them in ways he didn't like.
That's it?
I think there was more, but I don't remember it all.
Thank you, Dad. Let's see now.
I've got logs to haul.
Okay, that has been it.